3 burning questions for Suns heading into 2025-26 season. The Phoenix Suns are in a self-inflicted crisis, and the path forward is anything but clear. After a series of high-stakes gambles blew up in their face, the franchise is facing an identity crisis that leaves more questions than answers as they look toward the 2025-26 season. Before we dive into the team's pressing issues, here's a fun geographical oddity to consider. Isn't it strange that the Memphis Grizzlies are in the NBA's Southwest Division while the Phoenix Suns are not? A quick look at a map shows Arizona sharing a border with New Mexico, which connects to Texas, home of the Rockets, Mavericks, and Spurs, which then borders Louisiana, where the Pelicans play. From its iconic desert vistas to its deep-rooted Native American cultural ties, Phoenix embodies the spirit of the Southwest far more than Memphis ever could. While this might not affect a single jump shot, it's a curious detail. And this is the part most people miss. If the league ever moves forward with expansion, a divisional realignment that puts Phoenix in its rightful geographical place is something Commissioner Adam Silver should seriously contemplate. For now, however, the Suns have far more urgent problems to solve on the court. 1. What is the grand plan in Phoenix? When owner Mat Ishbia took the reins, he promised a relentless pursuit of a championship. Yet, despite his earnest intentions, each full season under his ownership has ended in disappointment. The 2023-24 campaign saw a respectable 49-win season, an improvement on the previous year's 45 wins, but it culminated in a disheartening first-round playoff exit. This was a step back from their second-round appearance in 2023. The subsequent 2024-25 season was a full-blown catastrophe, with the team managing only 36 wins and missing the postseason entirely. This collapse has forced a dramatic pivot. The Suns have initiated a full-scale rebirth, trading away superstar Kevin Durant and executing a costly contract buyout for Bradley Beal, officially closing the book on their failed Big Three experiment. The new hope rests on the shoulders of a backcourt duo, franchise corn. Phoenix Suns Offseason Review, a fresh start or a risky gamble. Suns Offseason Review, a much-needed refresh amid conflicting visions. The Phoenix Suns have finalized their roster, now boasting a complete 15-man lineup, which marks the conclusion of their off-season activities. The allure of available talent with potential continues to tempt the Suns' front office, reminiscent of the Green Goblin's mask whispering sweet nothings. Currently, the spotlight is on Jonathan Kuminga, a restricted free agent from the Golden State Warriors, hinting that another significant move could be on the horizon. Additionally, the Suns face the challenge of reorganizing a roster that is excessively deep in 2 specific areas. But as July draws to a close, most of the off-season business appears to be wrapped up. With that in mind, here are some key takeaways for you. Suns are making progress, even if you hold a critical view of the Suns' off-season decisions. It's hard to overlook the new front office's effectiveness in executing their plans. This acknowledgement isn't about praising them for making major changes, a fact that was evident even before the previous season ended, with the departure of the head coach, general manager, and 2 key players. Instead, it's a recognition of how this revamped front office has successfully injected youth into the team and addressed its most glaring roster weaknesses. When June began, the Suns had only 2 young players, Ryan Dunn, 22, and Oso Ighodaro, 23, as part of their future core. By the end of July, they have added Khaman Maluach, 18, Jalen Green, 23, Mark Williams, 23, Rasher Fleming, 21, and Kobe Brea, 22, to the mix. This infusion of youth gives them a fighting chance to improve in the coming years. Maluach, Green, Williams, and Fleming each bring an impressive combination of size, length, and athleticism that could significantly enhance the Suns' performance compared to the last 2 seasons. If these players can harness their physical attributes and the high-energy intangibles that Phoenix is believed to possess, fans can expect a much more exciting brand of basketball. However, it's essential to approach this optimism with caution. The phrases supposedly and in theory are crucial here, as the unpredictability of losing seasons can always loom large. Nevertheless, this strategy positions the Suns for a more promising future while acknowledging that their recent performance has been largely disappointing for fans. As emphasized repeatedly this summer, and likely to be reiterated in the coming year, player development will be the key factor in determining whether the Suns thrive or falter. Fortunately, they now have the right talent to cultivate. The cost of business. One of the primary obstacles the Suns have faced is a significant lack of leverage in their crucial roster decisions, which has allowed the league to exploit a relatively inexperienced front office. This situation reached a climax during the Kevin Durant trade, where critics who dismissed the Suns' return by claiming they weren't going to get anything better overlooked the fact that the Suns put themselves in that precarious position. While Phoenix asserts its confidence in Green and his compatibility with Devin Booker, this belief is met with skepticism. Green was primarily included in the trade to balance the salary, and the Suns' inability to finalize a deal without him or reroute him elsewhere highlights the compromised situation they found themselves in. This predicament could have lasting repercussions that threaten the team's structural integrity. By being compelled to include Green, the Suns are now in a position where they must start him, which is not ideal for fostering his growth in a new environment. This situation also forces Booker into a role reminiscent of Steve Nash, where he must elevate his teammates' performance. While Booker is capable of this, the disparity between him and the next best player, Green, Williams, is concerning, making it crucial to maximize Booker's potential. Unfortunately, the current setup does not achieve that. If anything, it diminishes his effectiveness. Reports suggest that Green will take on the point guard role, likely to mitigate these issues. However, his playmaking was highlighted during a stretch when Fred VanVleet was absent, and during that time, Green ranked third in assists per game on his team and 64th in the league. Notably, 4 other Suns outperformed him in that category. If Green can effectively distribute the ball to Booker while handling the ball himself, it could alleviate some of the defensive burdens on Booker, allowing him to conserve energy for other aspects of the game, particularly defense. However, the outlook for Green's additional responsibilities remains troubling. Similar to the situations involving Bradley Beal and Durant, the backcourt options appear limited unless Green either accepts a bench role or significantly improves in areas where doubts persist. Unfortunately, immediate improvement seems unlikely. Moreover, whatever role Booker assumes does not benefit either him or Green, who risks becoming an unmovable contract if he stagnates or regresses in Phoenix over the next 2 years. The Suns cannot afford another situation like this if they hope to turn things around. The balancing act. To elaborate further, the Durant trade and the decision to utilize remaining tradable assets on Mark Williams have left the Suns roster in a state of imbalance. Currently, Phoenix has 7 players who can be classified as 2 guards or wings of guard size: Booker, Green, Grayson Allen, Kobe Bray, Dillon Brooks, Jordan Goodwin, and Royce O'Neal. Among them, only Green stands out as a superior athlete. The additions of Brooks and Goodwin align perfectly with the attributes the Suns sought, but this has rendered other roster pieces somewhat redundant. The same applies to Williams, as the Suns doubled down on centers, responding to the buzz surrounding their off-season pursuit of big men. Consequently, for Iguodala to see playing time, something he deserves given his potential, he may have to play at the 4 position. While he can adapt to that role, it is not his optimal position. In essence, the trades involving Houston and Williams have set the Suns up to necessitate further trades, which is a precarious way to lose leverage. It remains to be seen if Phoenix can navigate this situation effectively as August approaches, but the current roster dynamics suggest that it won't be an easy task. Moreover, the Suns' focus on establishing a culture and identity has led to a precarious and uneven roster. While prioritizing this aspect was essential, it was executed in a haphazard manner that compromised opportunities for the young core and resulted in conflicting visions. This teeter-totter of imbalance illustrates the Suns' desire to be competitive next season, while simultaneously planning for the future. Even the most successful organizations struggle to balance these two objectives. Dunn should be logging around 30 minutes per game, and Iguodaro should have a clear path for development, as should Maluach and Fleming. However, this becomes complicated with several veterans who deserve playing time and may not react well to being sidelined on a team projected to win only 30 games. Ensuring that young players are set up for success to facilitate their development will be a recurring theme next season, presenting a significant challenge for first-time head coach Jordan Ott. In terms of reliable ball handlers, the Suns currently have only one, Booker. Green must demonstrate that he can consistently make the right decisions before earning that trust. If Colin Gillespie is indeed the backup point guard, this will mark the 26-year-old's first opportunity to hold a role without being thrust into it due to injuries or other crises. Jared Butler remains a long shot to join this list. In the past 2 seasons, Suns possessed talent capable of winning 55 games, but ended up with records of 49 and 36. This current team, on paper, appears to be around a 30-win squad, with FanDuel setting the over-under at 31.5. However, these expectations could be exceeded if the culture and identity align effectively with the roster's fit. The latter is currently in a challenging position, while the former remains a wait-and-see scenario. So, win condition. As we emerge from the offseason, we can identify the Suns' win condition, essentially what must be achieved for them to be back in the hunt during Booker's prime. The first key is to find success with the second-team situation for Green and/or Williams. It's not uncommon for players to struggle for a few years before finding their footing, but it's more typical for them to continue to flounder. The second crucial factor is to capitalize on the 2025 draft class, which includes Maluach, Fleming, and Brea. Let's clarify what we mean by striking gold. At least one of these 5 players must reach near all-star status by the beginning of the 3rd season in this cycle, which would be 2027 to 2028. They don't necessarily need to be a second star, but they should be recognized as a top 50 player in the league. This is the advantage of having Booker, who at his best is a top 10 player and has shown top 5 potential during the 2023 postseason. Additionally, 3 of these 5 players need to be reliable starters by that time, players that other teams would covet. Doesn't sound too challenging, right? Here's what that would entail for these 5 players, while also acknowledging the potential of Dunn and Iguodaro to become part of that group. We've already discussed Green's primary challenge. His most straightforward path to success lies in fully committing to the defensive side of the game, building on the improvements he made over the past 2 years in Houston, and becoming genuinely exceptional defensively. He must also work on his decision-making to become a reliable drive and kick player, while consistently taking quality shots when he has the ball. He possesses the scoring ability and underrated shooting to excel. Maluach will require patience. He has a long way to go in terms of game feel, which is expected for someone who only started playing basketball 6 years ago. With time, he will develop physically, getting stronger and more adept at navigating the court with his long limbs. His mindset and work ethic are already promising. Fleming is in a similar boat. Don't view him as a 3-year player from a mid-major. He's more akin to a 5-star freshman who has shown significant potential but needs further development. His activity level can be a tremendous asset or a significant hindrance, and for Fleming, it's the former. He naturally impacts the game with his athleticism and energy. It's just a matter of him fully connecting with the game, knowing when to be in the right place and when to make his offensive moves. Like Maluach, this should come with time. Brea simply needs to be competent in all areas outside of shooting, or excel in one area beyond shooting. It's that straightforward. He's an elite shooter. Then there's Williams, whose requirements are even simpler than Brea's. He just needs to stay healthy. While he has defensive improvements to make, the bar isn't set too high. There's a viable path for the Suns to transform the questionable value surrounding Williams into something beneficial, as previously discussed. Even if Williams manages to play 65 games next season, which seems unlikely, he won't secure a lucrative contract extension. For once, the Suns will have leverage. As a restricted free agent, it would be surprising to see another team present an offer sheet that surpasses what the Suns would be willing to pay, especially given the injury concerns that have plagued Williams during his first 3 seasons. Therefore, Phoenix should be able to negotiate a reasonably priced deal provided they don't extend him this summer, which they absolutely should avoid. From that point, Williams must establish a reliable track record. The unavoidable conclusion of Phoenix's best-case scenario is that they may need to trade Williams. Maluach's potential exceeds that of anyone else in the young core by a significant margin. If he achieves a median-level outcome in his development, he could surpass Williams. Again, it's crucial not to fall into the same trap with Iguodala. If Maluach becomes a reliable three-point shooter, he might be able to play some 4 in the future, but his best position is center. Therefore, it's essential to utilize him in his optimal role. Both he and Williams would need to play more than a combined 48 minutes, not to mention Iguodala, who should also be considered in this equation. This presents a peculiar and unique set of criteria for Williams, contributing to the polarizing nature of the trade. The primary value he brings is providing the Suns with quality center minutes right now, which shouldn't be a major concern since this team isn't poised for immediate success. They need to come to terms with the fact that they lack control over their draft, so losing more games shouldn't be a significant issue. There's no merit in tanking, nor is there any value in winning a few extra games when the team is still struggling. The reasoning behind this may sound akin to a teenager justifying why they took their parents' car without permission and subsequently crashed it. But in a way, Williams also serves as a safety net in case Maluach doesn't pan out. This redundancy is unnecessary and relies on a player who may prove unreliable enough to not even fulfill that role. But that's the situation. In conclusion, the path forward is clear. It wasn't just a few months ago. Let's embark on this journey together, shall we? What if everything goes right for the Phoenix Suns? Imagine a scenario where everything falls perfectly into place for the Phoenix Suns. Picture this summer becoming the turning point that transforms the franchise. Envision a team of underdogs, misfits, and young talents with a fierce determination, coming together to create a squad that captures our hearts. It might sound like a dream, but what if it becomes a reality? The past few years have been a roller coaster of disappointment, failure, and unfulfilled promises. We were told we'd have a championship-caliber team, but instead we got a series of embarrassing performances. Now, with low expectations, we're ripe for a delightful surprise. We've spent enough time dwelling on the negatives. Let's explore a more optimistic path. Photo by Kenneth Richmond, Getty Images. Everything falls into place. Devin Booker, in his age 28 season, turning 29 in October, finally breaks through to superstardom. He's joined by Jalen Green, who complements Booker's scoring prowess and shares the playmaking responsibilities. The success of the Suns hinges heavily on these two guards. While they have solid supporting players, the majority of the offensive load will rest on their shoulders. In this ideal scenario, they not only mesh well, but excel. Jalen Green's recent quote stands out. "I got a team out in Phoenix who wants me to be me. I get to play alongside one of the best in the game and book." It's another opportunity to build a winning culture. Another opportunity to show people how deep my love for this game really is. And another opportunity to shut up y'all petty-ass haters too. I see everything, and I thank you for it. This kind of attitude is exactly what the team needs. The Booker-Green duo is crucial for everything to go right. Imagine them combining for an efficient 48 points per game. Dillon Brooks, the glue that holds it together. Photo by Chris Caduto, Getty Images. Dillon Brooks brings a fiery edge to the team. His competitive spirit and intensity will be contagious, igniting the team's passion. The Suns have been missing this kind of player for years. Ryan Dunn, alongside Brooks, will add excitement with his defense, hustle, and toughness. Brooks is poised for his best season yet, and Dunn's confidence will grow, leading to a strong sophomore year. For good measure, Let's imagine Dunn improving his three-point shooting to 38%. It might seem far-fetched, but in this perfect world, anything is possible. Mark Williams, a fresh start. Photo by Jared C. Tilton, Getty Images. Mark Williams staying healthy proves that the Hornets made a mistake by letting him go. At 23, he has shown promise, but has faced concerns about his defense, rim protection, and durability. In this alternate reality, we attribute his defensive lapses to a poor environment and fixable habits. This fresh start allows him to develop into the player he aspires to be. Playing 70 games would be a significant step forward. Khaman Maluach, a fellow Duke center, joins as a raw but talented rookie backup. Together, Williams and Maluach bring an impressive 15 feet and 1 inch of wingspan to the team. Williams, as a reserve, shows massive potential and provides glimpses of greatness in his 15 to 20 minutes per game. Having 48 minutes of length and productivity at the center position, sign us up. Nick Richards, the reliable depth piece. In the 12 games Williams misses, and during any foul trouble or rookie struggles from Maluach, Nick Richards steps in seamlessly. This depth is a luxury the Suns haven't enjoyed in a while. At least one of Rasheer Fleming or Kobe Brea, or both, will be a steal. Brea continues to shoot accurately, and Fleming shows flashes of two-way potential. Colin Gillespie emerges as a stable bench player, reminiscent of a TJ McConnell or Peyton Pritchard hybrid. Grayson Allen and Royce O'Neal, despite speculation about their futures, return and perform exceptionally. Allen regains his 2023-24 form, reminding Suns fans why they were excited about him before his bodybuilding phase. Oso Ighodaro makes a significant leap, securing minutes at the power forward position. Nigel Hayes, a cost-effective signing, also carves out a role. Jordan Ott, managing a loaded rotation. With so many talented players, Jordan Ott's job as head coach becomes increasingly challenging. However, the team's chemistry, talent, and intensity are undeniable. Fans begin to embrace a style of play that embodies Phoenix, grit and resilience. Could we even dare to mention the P word? What if the stars align? What if the Suns start the season strong and never look back? With the right chemistry, talent, and intensity, they could capture the hearts of fans and embody the spirit of Phoenix. Could this be the year everything goes right for the Suns? Listen to the latest episode of the Suns Jam Session podcast for more insights. Subscribe to the pod on Apple, Spotify, YouTube Podcasts, Amazon Music, Podbean, or Castbox. Please subscribe, rate, and review.